Okay, in this comparison we have two digital recorders. On our right hand side, this is a 960H analog camera recorder. Now 960H is about 25-30% better than D1, so this is still very cost effective and still a very good system. You got a 800 TV line 960H camera, which is the difference between 960H and D1 is there's a big jump of a difference. So this is still a very high quality camera with a very high quality recorder. Both of these DVRs are hooked up via a HDMI lead set up on the machines for 1080p output to the monitor. So this is a fair comparison, okay? There's no twiddling to make one system look better over the other. On this system, this is a HD-SDI system, and it's hooked up to this camera here, and this system is hooked up to this camera. Now you can see these are both lovely small discrete IR domes. Now they're the same size basically. The difference is this is your standard camera that you see everywhere, analog 800 TV lines 960H, and this is hooked up to this system here, as you can see. This is a HD-SDI 2.4 megapixel camera, and that's on screen here. Now I'm going to bring this up full screen. Just wanted you to show you that these cameras are actually going through DVRs, okay? It's not hooked directly to any screen, there's no messing going on. This is the type of screen shot. You can see just the difference between the HD-SDI and the analog. Now I'll give you a little close up. This is the analog. Now you can still see that's the best that you're going to get out of analog. 800 or 1000 TV lines in analog 960H set at the highest recording. That's the best you're going to get. This is HD-SDI. Okay, and I'm going to do a few tests to show you just the difference between them. Now I'm not sure if you can pick this up with the video, but if I look in on the analog camera, you can see these boxes here, and the blue, it isn't really a blue, it's a fuzziness. There's no red and black on the boxes. If I go to the HD-SDI, you can see the difference straight away. The actual image is better than what we're seeing on the camera, because obviously you'll get a loss there anyway. But you can see the reds are coming out. The colors are much better real-time representation. Now I'm going to put this text here. I'm going to move back a small bit. I'm only about 3 foot from the camera. You can see on this here, and I'll zoom in with the camera lens. You can see here it's a bit fuzzy. Here it is crystal sharp clear. Now I'm going to move back and I'll measure this back the way 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm about 8 foot away now here. Now you'd still make out who I am on the 960H, but it wouldn't be easy, and the text is totally gone. You would not make out what is that text. So if it was a number plate, you'd forget about it. You wouldn't have a chance. On the 1080p HD-SDI unit, you'd easily make out who that person was, and the text is crystal clean and still sharp on it. If I even go back a little further, apologies now, the reason for the blurring is I'm holding the camera and I'm zooming it in. Now I'm back about 12 foot away from the camera. Now normally with analog cameras, anybody who's savvy with cameras will tell you this is way too far away for a person to recognize their face. It's just way too small on a screen. But that's the beauty with high definition. You can be far away and still get very, very good clarity. The difference at 10 to 12 feet away, analog, this card is a blur. The person is a blur. We can still make out a lot about what's going on, and it's still doing a good job, but when you compare it to this, it's just spectacular. This size, if you compare the size of the card to the size of the screen, the amount of detail to be able to read this is quite exceptional. So at the moment we have some orange lighting on. It's getting dusk in here, so the lighting conditions are not ideal. To give you an example of clarity on it, now this is an ideal distance if you want to catch a facial shot with an analog camera, because as you can see the detail is pretty okay. Now it's not perfect because this is an normal analog camera, but you can see you can't read what's on my cap, but you can make out facial expression and facial detail. The high definition camera, on the other hand, you can easily make out the text on my cap. It's slightly blurred because my camera that I have in my hand is shaking, and you can see the detail difference. The color difference is just, even the artificial light seems to bring it out a bit more. But for example on this, if we look at a very small area here on this camera box, the reds, the greens, the blacks, the red, green, black, the text, everything is very easy to see and evident. Whereas exactly the same position, the analog camera, it's not as such. It's a bit washed out, no smooth edges, and there's no way you could make out any text on it. And the poster, to give you an example, there's a poster here with text on the bottom of it, which isn't a great distance away. There's no way you'd read the text on that poster here. No way. But on the high def unit, it's no problem. It's very clear. Now it's blurry because my camera is not fantastic, but it goes to show you the level of detail that is on that. I'll stand back at the door again. Now I'm about 15 feet, 12 to 15 feet away. As you can see, I'll zoom in using the lens of the camera and be able to compare the two images. I can see very easily even the lines on the door behind me, the detail. And the proportions seem to be more correct. That's the comparison between the analog and HD-SDI.